Welcome to Empath Math Knowledge. In this video, I am going to explain degeneracy condition in transportation problem. In a transportation problem, after finding all the allocations, we need to check whether m plus n minus 1 is equal to number of allocations or not. If m plus n minus 1 is equal to number of allocations, then we can say that the solution is a non-degenerate one. If m plus n minus 1 not equal to number of allocations means then the solution is a degenerate one. To overcome this degeneracy, introduce epsilon in any one of the unoccupied cell, preferably minimum cost cell. After allocating epsilon, you have to find the minimum transportation cost or maximum profit in the usual manner. Epsilon tends to 0 always. Now I am going to explain degeneracy condition through example. Find the initial basic feasible solution for the following transportation problem using Ogle's approximation method. In this problem, transportation cost, supply and demand value was given. First step, we need to check the balance condition. For checking balance condition, you have to take total supply and total demand. Total supply is equal to 8 plus 5 plus 9. This is equal to 22. Total demand is 4 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 8. The total demand is 25. Here total supply is equal to 22. Total demand is equal to 25. So total supply is not equal to total demand. So the problem is an unbalanced one. Here supply value is less than demand. So introduce dummy row. Dummy row supply is nothing but total demand minus total supply. That is, your total demand is 25 and the total supply is 22. So the value is 3. Let me repeat. Here supply value is 22, demand is 25. Supply value is less than demand. So you have to introduce dummy row. For the dummy row, the supply value is total demand minus total supply, that is 3. So you have to introduce one dummy row with 0 entries. That is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. For this dummy row, supply value is 3. This is nothing but the difference between the total demand and the total supply. First step, we have to convert the unbalanced transportation problem into balanced transportation problem. Then we can find the initial basic feasible solution. Step 2, we have to find the initial basic feasible solution using Ogle's approximation method. For Ogle's approximation method, you have to take the row difference and column difference. The first row, the least cost is 3. The next least element is 5. The difference between these two numbers is 2. You have to write the difference here. The second row, the least number is 4 and the next least number is 5. The difference is 1. Third row, the least number is 4. It comes in two places. So 4 minus 4 is 0. And the fourth row, the least number is 0 only. Similarly, how to find the column difference. The column difference, the first column, the least number is 0. The next least is 4. The difference is 4. Second column, least number is 0. Next least is 4. Difference is 4 again. Third column, least number is 0. Next least is 6. So the difference is 6. Fourth column, the least number is 0. Next least is 6. So the difference is 6. The last column, least number is 0 and the next least is 3. So the difference is 3. Now from row difference and column difference, you have to select the maximum penalty. Here the highest penalty is 6. It comes in two places. If tie occurs, you can select any one. The third column I'm going to allocate the value. In the third column, my least value is 0. For this cell, supply is 3 and demand is 5. I'm allocating the least number 3 here. Once I allocate, I strike out the satisfied value. That is 3 is satisfied and here the remainder is 2. Here supply is satisfied, so I strike out the row. For the next allocation, you take the difference again. 2, 1, 0, dash. These allocations are over, so no need to find the difference. The column difference. Least number is 4, next least is 5, so the difference is 1. Second column, least number is 4, next least is 6, so the difference is 2. Third column, least number is 6 and the next least is 7, so the difference is 1. The fourth column, 6 only, so the difference is 0. And the last column, the difference is 4 and 3, so the difference is 1. The highest penalty is 2. It comes in 2 places, so you can select any one. I select this one. In the first row, the minimum value is, minimum cost cell is this cell. So here I am going to allocate the value. For this cell, supply value is 8 and demand is 8. So I am allocating 8 there. Here, both the values are satisfied. So you have to cross out the row and column. Cross out the row and column. Both supply and demand is satisfied. So you cross out row and column. Now you take the difference again. The first row dash. The second row is 1 again. Third row, the least number is 4 and the next least is 6. The difference is 2. This is dash. Column difference. And here the first column, 4 and 8, the difference is 4. 7 and 4, the difference is 3. 7 and 6, the difference is 1. 6 minus 6, the difference is 0. Here you put dash. Now the highest penalty is 4. In the first column, I am going to allocate the value. The first column, the least number is 4. Here I am going to allocate the value. This is the least cost cell. For this cell, supply is 5, demand is 4. So the minimum value is 4. I am allocating 4 here. Once I allocate, I have to strike out the value here. The difference is 1 and here 4 is satisfied. So here demand is satisfied, so I have to strike out the column. Now I have to take the difference again. This is dash, column difference, dash, and this is 7 minus 4, 3, 7 minus 6, 1, 0, 6 minus 6, 0, dash. And the column difference is over. Now the row difference is first row dash, second row difference is 1, third row the difference is 2 and dash. And here the highest penalty is 3. So in the second column you are going to allocate the value. The second highest penalty comes under second column. So in the second column I am going to allocate the value. The second column, my minimum cost cell is this cell. For this cell, supply is 9 and demand is 4. So I am allocating 4 here. So the remainder is 5. The remainder is 5. Here the value is satisfied. I am allocating 4 here. Here the remainder is 5 and here the value is satisfied. In the second column, the demand is satisfied. So I strike out the column. Demand is satisfied here, so I strike out the column. In the remaining, you have to take the difference. First row, dash. The second one is 7 minus 6, 1. 6 minus 6 is 0, dash. Column difference. First column satisfied. Second column satisfied. The third column, the difference is 1. The fourth column difference is 0. The maximum penalty is 1. It comes in 2 places, so you can pick any one. I pick this one. For the third column, minimum cost is 6. There I am going to allocate the value. For this cell, supply is 5, demand is 2. Third column, I am going to allocate the value. In the third column, minimum cost cell is 6. For this cell, supply value is 5, demand is 2. So I am allocating 2 here. Once I allocate, I have to strike out the value. and this is 3. Remainder is 3. Now here demand is satisfied again, so I cross out the column. In the remaining, I have to take the difference again. The row difference, there is no value, take the difference, so no need to take. Column difference, you have only one. 6 minus 6 is 0. This is the only option. Now you're going to allocate the value. You can allocate anywhere, either this cell or this. Both the values are same, so you can allocate anywhere. If I pick the first cell, supply is 1, demand is 4, so I am allocating 1 here. So I cross out the value. Here the remainder is 3. Supply is satisfied, so cross out the row. The left out one is this cell. For this cell, supply value is 3 and demand value is 3. So you allocate 3 here. So now both the values are satisfied. Now both supply and demand is satisfied. In this way, you have to allocate the value in the Vogel's approximation method. You have to take the row difference and column difference carefully, and you have to check the maximum penalty. In that particular row or column, you have to allocate the value. After this step, we have to check m plus n minus 1 is equal to number of allocations or not. Here m plus n minus 1 is equal to 4 rows, 5 columns minus 1. This is equal to 8. Number of allocations. Number of allocations is equal to, the number of allocations are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 allocations. 7 allocation. M plus n minus 1 not equal to number of allocations. Here m plus n minus 1 is not equal to number of allocations, because m plus n minus 1 is 8 and number of allocations is 7. M plus n minus 1 not equal to number of allocations. So we can say that the problem is a degenerate one. To overcome this degeneracy, you have to introduce epsilon in any one of the unoccupied cell, preferably minimum cost cell. We want to make m plus n minus 1 is equal to number of allocations. For that, you have to introduce epsilon in any one of the unoccupied cell. Here you can allocate anywhere, preferably minimum cost cell. So you can allocate here. This is the minimum cost cell. This will not affect your transportation cost. Epsilon tends to 0, so this will not affect your transportation cost. Now m plus n minus 1 is equal to 8, which is equal to number of allocations. N minus 1 is equal to number of allocations. So the solution is a non-degenerate one. Let me write the minimum transportation cost. Minimum transportation cost is nothing but 3 into 8 plus 6 into 1 plus 4 into 4 plus 4 into 4 plus 6 into 2 plus 6 into 3 plus 0 into epsilon plus 0 into 3. Let me write all the values. 3 into 8 plus 3 into 8 plus 4 into 4 plus 6 into 1 plus 4 into 4 plus 6 into 2 plus 6 into 3 plus 0 into epsilon plus 0 into 3. If you multiply and add, you will get 92. This is the minimum transportation cost or initial transportation cost for this particular problem. If degeneracy occurs, you have to introduce epsilon, and then you can find the minimum transportation cost or maximum profit. Hope you all understand. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.